storylines are not where they should be either. You know, maybe it's our fault or maybe it's I don't know whose fault it is, but there wasn't a storyline in the Kell Brooks Triple G fight in terms of who's Kell Brooks' wife. Did he have a rough childhood? Can he associate with Americans? Did he grow up in South Central England?
Yeah.
Or Harlem, whatever the urban, you know what I mean? There was no connection. Like even Triple G, like they're doing a good job, but they kind of cut out his early years and said he fights Mexican style, and it works.
That's it.
You know what I mean? But we don't really, there's not a story that I can connect.
Exactly. Like the only thing we could connect urban-wise was the fact that Brooke got stabbed.
Yeah. That's it. Right?
Brooke got stabbed. That's it. Like, what did he get stabbed for? What was the deal?
Yeah, what did you
Did you go to the wrong neighborhood? What's going on here? You know, that's it. Like, we know in England it's Khan versus Brooke. Like, you got fans that are distinguished there. But it's like, that's the only thing we know about Brooke. He got stabbed.
You're right.
The other thing, he fought Sean Porter here in SoCal.
That's all we know.
Yeah,
exactly. There you go. But see, it's like that's all we know about him. You know, Triple G. Nobody really knows that he's part Korean. You know what I'm saying? He's part Korean. No one knows that. That story isn't out there. Thank you. No, but see, he's
his
part
grandfather's.
Yeah, exactly. So he has some of that in him. It's like Andre Ward, you know, part Irish. A lot of people don't know that.
White, yeah.
Right, exactly. But it's like some stories just don't get told, and I don't know why. If you know more about the fighter, you can grasp that thing and more things. Like you can invest more with.
Yeah,
like look at Canelo. We know Canelo's story. 16-year-old kid.
16-year-old kid
fighting already a pro. Had a kid at the age of 16. We know he likes shoes. You know, we know his story. We know what he likes. We know about him. Like they put him out in the forefront. They need to invest more time on that with fighters like that. I like what Bob Arum does. Every time that Terrence Crawford is about to fight, yeah, Terrence Crawford may be a soft-spoken guy and everything like that. Personality might be out there, but we know the skills. But the stories they tell us about him, like he goes to Africa on charity events. You know, he does that. You know, he's a community guy over there in Omaha.
Yeah, but with Terrence Crawford, they're gonna have to really push that.
No. But see, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying though.
No,
They are actually giving us narratives with him. There are so many fighters we don't get narratives from that they just want to throw in front of us. Like, how many of us can actually grasp and pull straws and actually relate to Vasily Lomachenko? But he's thrown at our face.
I was like angry. Like, how's he fighting for a title in his first fight? So I was like, this don't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
But he's thrown in our faces. He's thrown in our faces. Like he's put out there for us. But we need to actually do better. Not only HBO, Showtime, PBC, and everything like this, but us as media members, we need to make better stories about everybody. We need to get people to get a narrative with these fighters and actually connect with them. Because if they don't, then the whole thing is lost.
You know, that's a good point. That's a very good point what you just mentioned. But at the same time, there's a lot of times where fighters don't want to give us that opportunity.
They don't.
Share their story. You know, you got to remember, without us, you don't have a career. You make no money. So you need to allow us to tell your story. Give us something so we can tell it better.
But let them tell us that. Let them tell us that. If that's the case, cool. That's their prerogative. What we're trying to do is basically not only promote them, but promote the sport itself. Because if we promote them and this audience right here gravitates to them, okay, we pulled an audience here. But let's say we get somebody from a different audience that can gravitate to them as well. We're pulling people in. And if they don't want that, that's on them. But we need to find the fighters that do allow us to do that, that do give us the time, that do give us any day that we can to just go look at them and camp, get to speak with them, get to talk to them, get to know more about their story, ask them about their lives, where have they been, where have they traveled, where have they fought. More people could gravitate to that. Look at what the UFC does. Look at UFC freaking let Conor McGregor talk, and that's it. That sold everybody. The moment Conor McGregor came up, the Diaz brothers, who used to be the talkers of the game, they started talking, and now they get their story out there. Now you get to know them, even though if you would have followed MMA back in the days, you would have known more about them. You would have known the exact same things that they're pushing out now, you would have known them 2-3 years ago, because that's when they were big as well.
The thing about Conor is just, he's funny. And he has the Irish accent, which I think is a big, you know, I mean, that's a big thing. It's just, he is funny, he's very creative, he's quick-witted. And, you know, he just sounds kind of funny, you know what I mean? Just because he's like, you know, I mean, just accents in general are funny. No matter, you know, if you're going to speak Chinese, I'm sure you'll laugh at me because I'm going to sound fun, you know what I mean?
And I was going to say, just to stamp shape this whole point, I'm a little kid watching Meldrick Taylor versus Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
I have a black mother a black sister, and a black stepfather. I'm obviously rooting for Mildred Tillman.
Yeah.
Right? Years later, I hear Oscar De La Hoya talk. He says, I keep a $5 food stamp in my wallet.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
I was like, oh my
I see what
God,
you're saying.
no way, you were me.
Yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya was my second favorite fighter for the longest time because he spoke English. We went to high school around about the same time. He was always in the newspaper and stuff like that. I'm like, this dude is just like me. He's on food stamps just like,
Yeah.
he's just like me. You know what I mean? I was like, and then when he fought Vargas, he's like, Vargas said, I'm the real Mexican. And I was like, for real? Y'all will fight? You know what I mean? So like the storyline about Vargas and the street fights. So no matter the ethnicity, the storylines will resonate in you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And obviously the next star that we're going to get out of the amateur system coming into the professional system and we're going to get to know more about, obviously is going to be Shakur Stevenson.
Sure.
We're going to know more about him, and not only because of his story and not only because of what he went through in these Olympics, but because he has that mega push. He has that one guy backing him up.
Yeah.
And he was there with him, and we're talking about Floyd, you know. So he's going to be that next guy to get pushed up.
But how about when him wearing his heart on his sleeve in that interview?
No,
Wasn't
but that
epic?
was gorgeous. That was beautiful.
That's a
That
great
is what we
introduction to the
need.
world.
That is what we need. I'm sorry you lost, but that wearing your heart on your sleeve and just leaving it out there for everybody to see it, that was perfect.
And he admitted to the loss.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, he did. He did. Yeah, he was very honest about it. He fights at 123 pounds. What do you think he's going to settle into?
Oh, he's on
122?
I said 118.
No, he's gonna go down with it.
Yeah.
Typically amateurs.
Amateurs
Yeah,
go
yeah,
down.
yeah,
Yeah,
now they get.
like Ward, 178, won it, but he was 168 for the rest of his career. You know?
I know it's
exactly
a little premature to speculate, but what do you think is going to be his real weight class? 130, 135?
135, 130,
Yeah.
135.
I'm looking forward to this kid. He's a southpaw as well, right?
Yeah.
He's on the collision course with Devin Haney.
So